Hi, I'm Richard Friedman, and welcome to my cartoon countdown of my 5 most recent cartoons of the week. I'm going to start this one off here by introducing it to the main characters of each cartoon, so you know what's happening, kind of. Now here we have President President Trump, and Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin. So take a good look. These are the two stars of the cartoon. Okay. Now, the title of the cartoon is Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin imagines, this is in his imagination, President Trump standing next to him as Mnuchin threatens harsh new sanctions on Turkey in response to its military campaign underway against the Kurds in northern Syria. And this is October 11th, 2019. Okay, here we go again. And here, let's see. Here's President Trump, what Treasury Secretary Mnuchin is imagining him saying to him. He's imagining this. Remember, no new sanctions on Turkey, and I can shut you down too if I need to. And then Mnuchin goes on to deliver what he basically said was, we can shut down the Turkish economy if we need to. Now, this is after the fact that Turkey already went in there and people were dying. So what this basically tells us is that this administration, President Trump, does not want a conflict with Turkey. And that's what would have led to if we would have had reinforcements coming in there. And so he decided to just back off, and he again backed off again on the sanctions. And evidently Turkey took this as a sign of weakness, and they're just moving forward. People are dying, and we see all kinds of things on television now happening there. So it seems to me, just a small comment, is that between total withdrawal and going to war with Turkey, full scale, I would have been a war because we would have had the Syrian army as well to contend with. So what I'm saying here is basically there had to have been a mid-ground somewhere that these two extremes of a war versus retreat, there was some middle ground that, in my view, could have been negotiated with a firm hand, saying that, in a sense, we were willing to stand up for the Kurds if we had to, given what they did for us in the fight against ISIS. But I guess that stand never was made, and going with this kind of retreat and saying we were going to protect our men, but you're not protecting the American people when you do a thing like this, because it leaves us open to being without allies. So it's just my view, and I don't want to get into being going on as a commentator on TV, bashing this, bashing that. I'm just giving you my view, and you think about it with a sense of humor, as I always say, and just think about it. That was cartoon from the 11th. Now, here is I want to introduce you to the characters here. This is our own Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, with President Trump in a conversation, okay? Conversation. This is on October 12th. Okay, now I'm going to read this to you. Trump reportedly calling Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell up to 3 times a day. Up to 3 times. That means it could be 4 or 5, but up to 3. Or maybe, up to 3, it could be up to 3. Yeah, that's true. A day. Warning, Mr. McConnell, he will step up attacks on, that President Trump will step up attacks on senators who criticize him unless they fall in line and are loyal to the president as Democrats' impeachment demands increase. So what's happening here basically is that President Trump is now experiencing a lot of pressure from his own party and from the Democrats. So it's hard for him now to instead, again, he could try to somehow negotiate with this conflict with the Republicans and smooth things out and try to move a little bit in the direction of being firmer with Turkey. But instead, again, the president makes, in my view, the mistake of going the road of the conflict, like Robert Frost, two roads emerged in the woods, and I took the road less traveled by. Well, unfortunately, President Trump is taking the road that he most travels, which is unfortunately is conflict again here. So he's saying here basically is that he's going to take if Republicans start not supporting him in his policies and he's in terms of the what's more revelations coming every day, and with Turkey now, then he's going to start taking action against them verbally and name calling and this and that. So I kind of just put myself into his shoes, thinking the way he did for a moment, and came up with a little scheme, a little humor, not to bash anybody, but a little humor. Okay, and here he goes again. Up to 3 times a day, President Trump is said to have been calling Senate Majority Mitch McConnell. So here he goes. Here's President Trump. You see, here he goes. Here he is on the telephone. I wanted you to get that. There he is. Oh, okay. Now, hello again, Mitch. How are our Republican friends in the Senate doing right now? In all honesty, I'm a bit worried about Chuck. Now he's making up names for these people. You see, so this is me just doing a parody or whatever you want to call it. Okay. In all honesty, I'm a bit worried about Chuck Astley, Jim Boozer, Mike Crapper, Jerry Moron, David Perdue Chicken, and of course my little Marco. Oh yeah, and there's Pat Looney Tunes from up there in Pennsylvania. So in a way, he's saying what these people's names will be eventually if they don't support him, basically. So here's Mitch. Here's Mitch on the phone now. Here's Mitch responding, and Mitch is going to say, "They are all fine, Mr. President, and looking forward to your next great victory in November 2020." Okay, and then here we go again with President Trump on the phone here. Okay, we got him on. There he is. And President Trump saying, "Give my regards to former Senator Jeff Flakey." See, Jeff, he's no longer a senator, and he got the name Flakey before he resigned, or not resigned, but before he decided not to run again for office. So he got the name Jeff Flakey. Trying, in other words, it's humor, but it's not meant to. It's just meant to make people think, and I would say that would include, in all honesty, President Trump, to think about things. And I'm not trying to, go on like, I'm not going to mention no names, but go on with this over and over again. Then we go right back to a commercial and this and that. We have to commercial with this. I ain't going to do that. I'm just giving you the facts with a sense of humor and trying to just inject some humor and get you thinking. Okay, now here's the next cartoon. This is, again, here, the 3 characters in this cartoon are, first of all, the star of the show here is President Trump, President Donald J. Trump. Then over here we have Rudy. Here's Rudy. And then we have former Vice President Joe Biden taking a shower here. Okay, he's in the shower. What are you going to do? I mean, we had to make the joke, right? So here we go. Trump remains loyal to Rudy Giuliani. Trump remains loyal to Rudy Giuliani amid reports of an investigation. Okay, and this is President Trump on Fox News with Judge Janine here on the phone here. He's on the phone. You see, there's the phone, and he's on with Justice Janine. So anyway, so here he goes on the phone. President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Fox News alert. Exclusive. President Trump talks to Judge Janine on personal attorney Rudy Giuliani. And here's the president now speaking about Rudy Giuliani. He's going to go on to talk about Rudy. Okay? And he says, defending Rudy. I know he's an honorable man. He was a fantastic prosecutor. I know nothing about him being under investigation. As somebody said, I heard a report today. I can't imagine it. He is a man who looks for corruption. So here's Rudy Giuliani looking for corruption, looking in the window as former Vice President Joe Biden's taking a shower, and he's got his binoculars there, and he's looking for corruption with Joe Biden. So he looks for corruption, and there he is, looking at Joe Biden taking a shower through the window. That's Rudy, and that's again Joe Biden. See, so there we go. That's symbolism, you know. And no disrespect to Joe Biden. I mean, he takes showers, I'm sure, and nothing wrong with taking a shower. So anyway, here's the next one. This is the characters here in this cartoon. We have here, first of all, we have President Trump, and then we have Sean Hannity of Fox News, who Trump greatly admires. I think he's number one as far as the news host that he admires on Trump News, on Fox News. So Sean Hannity is always in the picture. And then here we have George Washington picture there, and then we have Trump having a dream here. This is going to be his dream in this cartoon. So here we go. Trump's fantastic dream about Fox News. Sean Hannity, who he praised after Fox News anchor Shepard Smith, a critic of President Trump, because of his penchant for calling BS on his own network's pro-Trump spin, announced he was leaving Fox News after clashes with colleagues at Fox. So this is what Trump tweeted on August 7th, way back there. This is Donald J. Trump at real Donald Trump. Okay, there. Let's see if we get that in here. Yeah, here it is. There it is. Okay. Now, watching fake news CNN is better than watching Shepard Smith. He never liked Shepard Smith because he didn't go along with a lot of the pro-Trump positions of Fox News. Watching fake news CNN is better than watching Shepard Smith, the lowest rated show on Fox News. This was August 7th. And then August 13th here, we have Trump having a dream on August 13th. Here. Okay, this is October 13th. October 13th, Trump is having this dream. He dreams that he's in the White House here, and he has 3 TVs all turned. This is CNN, has Sean Hannity, MSNBC has Sean Hannity, and of course Fox News has the Sean Hannity. Okay, so this is what he said. And here he is watching it, all these 3 TVs in a dream, of course, you know. Here he is, and he says, thanks to my administration, the American people now have a choice of which cable news channel to watch the fantastic Sean Hannity on. In other words, there's no more fake news because Sean Hannity's on all 3 major cable news channels, so there's no more fake news anymore. Everything is real Sean Hannity, real Donald Trump, you know? It's like an equation, real Sean Hannity equals real Donald Trump. So he got his wish, and there's George Washington here. He don't appear to be too happy with the situation, you know? He's there on top of the fireplace there. So kind of looking down from above. Okay, now last but not least, this is a cartoon I just completed a while ago, and I just came up this morning on this one, and here's the characters in this cartoon. First of all is Mick Mulvaney, our White House acting chief of staff. You know, he's been going to be acting for so long that he'll probably get on the Academy Awards show. They'll probably have a time slot for him for acting so long. He'll probably get an award one of these days when they do the Academy Awards. For the longest actor in an acting role, I want to say, you know. And here it is again. Here he is, Giuliani, former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani here. Okay, these are the 2 characters of this cartoon. And here's the real thrust of this cartoon was what came out with John Bolton came out with today. He was the former national security advisor till only maybe a month or so ago, maybe more, of President Trump. He handpicked him. He wanted him, like he wanted like Mad Dog Mattis, and then we got John Bolton, the Mad Dog of the United Nations, and under President Bush. I'll look at it, but he was definitely a name that Trump wanted on his team, along with General Mattis. So in any event, they're not the same by no means, but it was the same kind of a pick, in my opinion. Okay, now here goes Trump's former national security advisor, and there was a lot of conflict between John Bolton and Trump down the road, and this is what occurred. He was asked, I'm sure he was asked to leave. I don't think he would have kind of guy who would just get up and say, I can't take it no more. He likes, well, whatever. Anyway, Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, objected to White House pressure campaign on Ukraine for dirt on Joe Biden. So he was objecting to this right from the get-go when he saw what was happening on John Bolton for dirt on Joe Biden, that he told his aide, Fiona Hill, to tell White House lawyers, I am not part of whatever drug deal Rudy and White House acting chief of staff Mick Mulvaney are cooking up. Like they're cooking up something in a laboratory, because he saw he didn't want to be implicated in this, and he didn't want to know about it. He told them to make sure that these people knew, probably, that not to go to him about this, to ask him for any help or advice, because he would rather them know ahead of time, probably, that he want nothing to do with it, rather than having to turn them down. You see, and then he'd be losing. He knew he was on thin ice to begin with, probably with President Trump, so he didn't want to make it any thinner than it was then at the time. So he played it smart there for sure, by telling the White House lawyers just where he stood. And here we have a laboratory here with Rudy Giuliani, and then we have Mick Mulvaney working together in a laboratory to come up with a way, hypothetically, of giving this whatever you want to call it, to the president of the Ukraine, to get him to investigate Joe Biden and his son, the Bidens, and on corruption charges and whatever you have there. And so I took that theme and I drew here Giuliani in a laboratory. Here he is, and he's talking to Mitt Romney. They're both in the laboratory together. Mick working on this potion, or whatever you call it. Mick, you were right. It needed 5 more minutes on that hot Bunsen burner. And he's taking it himself, you see? And then he takes it himself, you see right here? And then his thumbs go up immediately, and he's really into, he really worked on him real good. He's real happy here and everything. You don't see him like that today. When you look at him, and now here he is. He's happy and everything, taking that Trump tonic, and to make, So now here is Mick Mulvaney. Here's Mick Mulvaney right over here, working in the laboratory with him. They're working on this thing to get the Ukraine president to go along with investigating the Bidens. Okay, so now here he goes. Rudy, you were right too. If this Trump loyalty drug works, we will go down as heroes like Jonas Salk stopped polio. We stopped the epidemic of fake news. You see? Yeah, there we go. Mick Mulvaney. See, so again here, that Rudy Giuliani only a short time ago said that he expected to go down as a hero when all the dust settles. He'd be a hero out of this whatever you want to call it, a saga or whatever you want to call it. So that's his view. But he was once a hero. I mean, he was a hero. I mean, 9/11, he was down there. We saw him there, and he did help fight crime in New York tremendously. And so I'm from New York myself, and when I saw him walking the streets there, I felt that, thank goodness that New York had a good mayor there who was trying to get things under control and being involved. And then when I heard that he had cleaned up the crime in the city, I congratulated him to myself on that score as well. So I'm not going to be an analyst and try to analyze how people change and what compels them or what impels them to take different paths. But it's one of those things. Anyway, I want to tell you that if you want to look at more of my cartoons and some more videos, you could just go on to Twitter at Bronx Cartoonist, at RJF Cartoons, and they're all there. And I want to thank you again, folks, for listening to this video. And you have a good day. Bye.